Good evening, everybody. System Chalk here with the 88th episode of the Apostle Obsonate playthrough as Ike Upscribe. I'm probably going to need to review the board a little bit. Lots of reputation. We do currently have a Season of Suspicion. We also, the plot of sort of letting notoriety decay on the board has been working out, but we do have some reasonably new notoriety. So I think we are going to have somebody pick it up. We did get another. We are currently looking at more Port Noon locations, and we should have enough money to get ourselves running through. So I think we're fine there. I got rid of the one hit of fascination. Season of Ambitions is coming up. That's good because we do need replacement for blood. Okay, so my biggest worries right now, there is another fascination on the table which I need to get rid of. Well, potentially get rid of. Can also be used as an input to the unresolved ambiguity. I can... Right, we're currently getting some extra money. That's going to generate notoriety, but once upon a time, way back when, I said I was just going to do a whole bunch of expeditions to get as much notoriety as I could, and then I was going to sweep it all away by changing locations. And it turns out that on the treadmill, we've never really had more than 4 notoriety on the table, so we are currently painting, which is fine. So I think overall we're in a good place. My only real worry here, let's actually get the Callagine as the subject of the painting after all, so I'll paint them into our world, and perhaps they'll stay a little longer. The Suppression Bureau will likely take an interest. Alright, well, unfortunate, but let's work with what we've been given. And finally, let's get some translations done. So the Songs of the Carapace Cross, Micah, I don't know if it's supposed to be Micah Z or Micah Kai's often destroyed work. It is written in Deep Mandiac, so we'll translate that for starters, and then we'll just let the rest of the counters run down. Okay, Season of Vision's coming up next, so we absolutely have to get rid of this fascination. Colors of the Night. I could spend money on better paints, or perhaps I could find more exotic pigments. Alright, I am certain that my adversary has lodged a copy of their notes elsewhere, with their solicitor, with their superior, even with contact in the press. This is troubling. So I'd forgotten that they picked up evidence. So I do want to be a little bit careful in terms of when I use the Delightful Blood. If I'm not careful, it means I get hit by the fascination after all. The air is curdled now. I'm home again in this lumpen flesh. Better, perhaps. So we'll use the oldest fleeting reminiscence to get rid of the fascination. So right now we're just sort of knocking down all of the challenges that we might be facing. I am going to use the Callagine to try and destroy the evidence. It is, however, going to mean that the Maid in the Mirror is not being used, which is not ideal for me. Created something distinctive and beautiful. It will very likely enhance my reputation. Okay, so this will translate into restlessness before too long. So we have another fascination. That is actually that's gonna hit me, unfortunately. But we do have some fleeting reminiscences to counter it. Let's see if we got rid of the staleness. No. But we still made a bunch of money anyway. Okay. So we still need to wait out the burglary. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I can do with the Callagine right now, or if I should just go painting again. Well, I don't have the passion for it, so let's start with that. I'm going to switch out the Callagine in 20 seconds. breaking, entering, returning. In cellars and in attics, in secret compartments and sealed closets, the rich and not so rich conceal their treasures. I have prepared the text for study, and this place merits closer investigation. So this is Raven Isle. I'm probably going to sneeze in a second, so sorry. Excuse me. And actually, there is one small thing I need to check. Okay, good. I thought that there were some settings that had gone wrong, but... Raven Isle, an extinct volcano lifts its head from a fervid tangle of emerald jungle. Immortals, fallen to the vilest crime of their kind, are exiled here to roost, guzzling the blood and cracking the bones of unwary travelers. They must have acquired some interesting... They must have acquired some interesting toys over the years. I'm sorry, I know a lot of you like hearing me read this game, so sneezing all the way through does not help the atmosphere. Okay. Micah, we'll say Micah Kai, sometimes called the Magus of Quartz, etched this work in acid on stone. It has been reproduced many times since, but the reproductions are often lost to landslides. Let's try reading it. Kai describes the rites of the gods who were stone, the first hours as practiced before the existence of human civilization by the Carapace Cross. He claims a final survivor of the cross shared the information with him. Debating if I should just send the Callagine out to search. Probably not the wisest choice. We'll just run it. Okay, we'll pay for paints as usual. A half-glimpse wistfulness has touched me. I could try resummoning the Callagine, but I do need it to destroy the evidence. So there's been an accident. Heal a fallen follower with talk. Ooh, that's inconvenient. I do actually need to... Okay, so Season of Visions is going to come up first, so we will... I'm actually going to send the Callagine to deal with the evidence first, and it's just because I know I'm going to be able to heal Enid before the worst consequences. Okay, is there something I can do with Dream that I want right now? We can keep going through the Peacock Door. In my dreams, I know the path through the glass garden to the Peacock's Door, the most admirable of doors, the door which shines like a mirror. Perhaps with the right resources, I can pass it. We'll use the Watchman's Glass just because we do have Silver Spintrea for the repair. The world goes away. Something special, it may provoke a reaction. So again, I want to be careful about the fascination that I generate. My recent work is considered notable. I've exhibited the latest paintings publicly. Surely someone will buy something. This is the time where I'm thinking that maybe what I want to do is hire, or not hire, but resummon one of my creatures. So we still have the Sitdale'ness, which is not great. So let's do the Rite of the Beast Division. Oh, but I don't have an influence. Well, I might have an influence, but not one that's relevant. So if I want, I can add an instrument, but we're fine. Like we just need the Maid in the Mirror. So one question would be, if I've got the Explore verb open, why don't I just send the summons on the mission? And really, I should. But of course, they're doing other things that I need them to do right now. So after that, I think I might actually just start I think I might just start... I might start doing commissions again. Alright, the Songs of the Carapace Cross. The rites are largely obsolete now, few have been observed in the last 1,000 years at least to have any effect at all. Nevertheless, Kai identifies at least one invocation of particular power. He warns that it should be used with caution, lest the gods who are stone might find their way back from nowhere. And this is the liminal evocation. The gods who... one god who is stone remains, and she watches all thresholds. Alright, so I am starting to let my my emotions run ahead of me. We do also have another excuse me, season of suspicion coming up. So the worry here is that if we fail in this mission, this may have some more lasting consequences. But for the time being, let's keep at it. So the sevenfold slaying of the seven coiled, an account of the destruction of a primeval hour, a god who was stone. So we will translate the text. Again, I don't really have anything I want to do with the explore verb right now, so we're going to keep that in the background. I do want to mine my dread a little bit, but we'll be fine. I'll be able to use contentment on the newer of the two. Okay. I'm going to try the red church here. This is actually rather helpful, so if we fail with the Callagine, we have something of an insurance policy now. I've learned something that will earn me a favor, once only. Each of the stained glass windows of the red church is devoted to a distinct appetite, and the scenes that they show are from life. Last night, in one of the uglier windows, I saw the appetites of a certain public figure satisfied in private. I know he won't want this information made public. Perhaps he will show me some consideration. So this will be one for the Forge followers to fix when they can. But for now, let's calm down the dread with the contentment. I await word. My minion is returned. The evidence has been destroyed. I am a little safer. Okay, so we're going to talk with Enid to heal, compassion, or convenience, and we can only use funds to recover that. And let's see what happens in 8 seconds. Hopefully we'll be able to start an expedition. Nope. Alright, a rebellious spirit. The summoning is struggling against my control. I could use reason to dismiss it safely, which is always reliable. I could try to reassert control with passion, which is not reliable. Or I can let what will happen, happen. So, in this case here, I will use reason. We're actually just going to send the Callagine off on the exploration. So, this is for Maya. There was a city here. We can pick over its remains like jackals over old bones. Palace walls, buried roads, shattered fountains. Sometimes we may find the knowledge of the dead, and sometimes the dead may find us. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to send the Callagine, and then I'm going to send Saliba. This is because generally we'll need at least the Grail to pass the Lone and Level Sands. And then that should give us enough... That should give us just enough to be able to find out what else we need. The city Maya has long been sunk in the desert. Only ghosts walk its streets. Anything left there will be well hidden, and the vagabond's curse hangs over it all. Her revenge on the place that wronged her so. Alright, this is actually going to be a tough one for us, I think. I do also need to use the Delightful Blood, but that'll help cancel out the dread. Alright, well we knew that was going to happen, so... And let's just read the book. Read the sevenfold slaying of the seven coiled. There are 12 verses. In the first, an ascendant hour, identified as the scarred one, enumerates his justifications for destroying the seven coiled, its appetites, its growth, its enmity to humanity. In the second, a priestess puts out his eyes and scars his skin to protect him against the Seven Coiled's magics. In each of the next 7 verses, he destroys one aspect of the Seven Coiled. Well, that was unlucky. Mirrors are calm, the sun is steady, the glory recedes. I'm saying if that means anything. No fascination drives your visions, it's over for now. And the expedition continues. Okay, so we do need to get past Desolation. The Creeping Breath curse requires Grail, so Saliba's got us for that. We do need Lantern or Knock, and then Edge or Winter. So I think we'll start by adding Eau Claire. We also finished our work, so it's gone. We are safe. And this is eventually going to turn into winter that I need to deal with. I mean, that was going to happen one way or the other. I still feel it's safer to deal with the Maid in the Mirror on its own. Okay, I'm going to do the commissions. This may be useful for a commission. The sun still moves, the wind still walks. My journals are the labyrinth clue. Okay, so here we are now going to combine the Forlorn Blood and the Delightful Blood. This will generate a fascination, it'll stop the health consequences, and it'll generate a fascination. That fascination I'll use to get rid of the dread. Around that time, Chilly Atmosphere will probably transform into its own dread, which I won't have a solution for, but I also don't have a Season of Despair coming up, so I'll have a little bit of time to work with it. The wound is healed, the scar remains, but each scar, as the scholar Shulgo once observed, is a lesson. So, Enid has a bit of edge. I am much recovered. More than that, I am sumptuous. The sclera of my eyes, the veins in my wrists are aswim with gorgeous serums. When the vitulation comes, I will be the centerpiece for our delight to prove their appetite, to enact the grail. I am of the same blood of the delightful now. As long as their savor graces my veins, my disease cannot touch me. Without their blessing, I will die. Okay, I'm wasting my talk verb right now, so let's see if there's anything interesting that I can do. Well, we'll probably need Knock, so maybe we'll add Enid and Neville for the end of the expedition. It's also a total of 4 funds, so I need to add some more money to it as well. It's one of the reasons I was so eager to add Eau Claire. I just want to make sure that I only ever have to add 1 follower at any given time. Actually, it might be better for me to add the Lantern just because I can replace some of them. Okay, is there anything I want to do with talk for now? I'll say no. Well, no, there's... Send Enid out on another burglary. Callaghan's not going to be available for a bit, so... Okay, the Cistern Witch should see us safe through the dry places, so we will add the funds now. If a hunter's found notoriety, they will use it to create or upgrade evidence. If they're meticulous, they'll always succeed. If they're erratic, they're more likely to fail, but they can occasionally create evidence even without notoriety. I shrink and grow pale. Fatigue chokes my throat. I must ensure that my death serves a purpose. We're getting really close to the end of our session tonight. All right. In the 10th verse, the Scarred One bathes his priestess patron in the blood of the Seven Coiled to lend her power. In the 11th, they assault the temple behind the world, entering it by force. In the 12th, they swear a tripartite oath to protect their ancestors, their descendants, and themselves. And we have the alignments of murder. Now, did I read the alignment? Yes, I did. Okay. So this is the last bit of edgelore that we have. So these are the arts that ensure an ending. The alignment's a murder. And we did get some dread out of that. So one potential use that I'll have for the dread is a ritual that consumes influence. I don't have enough time to deal with the winter. Let's also take a quick look. We have a season of despair coming up, so I do actually need to generate some contentment, and I need to generate it pretty quickly. So this is actually a very alarming state to be in. But that is something for me to deal with Friday. As always, thank you very much for watching. And I know it's a little irritating to hear the repetitions, but if you have not done so, please consider subscribing to the channel. You can turn on the notifications if you'd like to know that when they're coming online. And it does help me out if you leave a like or a comment. I don't know if it helps me if you leave a dislike, but it helps me at least to indicate where I've done well and where I need to improve. But for those of you who are hanging around, we'll see you Friday to deal with the consequences of my actions today. Hope you have a good evening, and we'll see you then.